This is Steven. At just 24 years old, he's built over 15 e-commerce businesses.
We're just past $12 million in revenue. Today, Justin just ordered my product. In a single day, I think we did around like 250,000.
We met up in Bali, where Steven lives a semi-retired life, working a few hours a day and spending the rest of his time surfing and traveling. In this video, we go through how he scaled multiple businesses to over 7 figures, the secret to finding million-dollar products, and the most common problems that people who get into e-commerce face.
You have to be really frugal with your money. The reason a lot of these guys are showing off all these expensive things is because they have something else to sell you. The lifestyle of having Lambos, flexing, spending $1,000 at restaurants, it's not sustainable.
If you were to start from scratch right now, what would you do?
Man, do I want to give the sauce? It's crazy.
Give the sauce, bro.
The only way to win is
So can you give me a breakdown of all of your companies? How exactly do you make money?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. So I run a few businesses. I run a business that sells fruits online. It's called medjewelsdays.com. And we basically just sell dates online, direct to consumer. I have a little facility where we can fulfill the dates straight from the farm and send it straight to the customer. I also have a K-pop jewelry and fashion business where we sell clothes to fans of that niche. And then lastly, we have a accessories brand for cars. And I'm gonna keep that low key because it's a crazy product.
Your bio on Instagram says 12 million in e-com, 1 exit. Can you tell me the backstory behind how'd you get to the 12 million?
Basically, first ever business I ever did was selling fidget spinners. That was when I was in high school. I started by selling it on Reddit and just, like spamming it in all these subreddits. And I got my first sale, and when I heard that Shopify ding, I got addicted to selling stuff on Shopify. That eventually grew to, I think it was like $250,000 in revenue. And that kind of was the gateway drug for me getting into e-commerce. Then moved on to another product. When I was in my first year of college, I sold these figurines, it's like mini anime figurines. And they were wearing Nike sneakers. Tons of copyright, but made a decent amount of money. I had Justin Bieber buy from me. Then he told me that he saw one of my Facebook ads and purchased directly. So that was really cool. From there, I just started building more and more brands, and it cascaded into so many random e-commerce businesses that some stayed, some died out, but over the course of a lifetime, ended up just past $12 million in revenue across all of them.
All right, Steven, so for all the people that are already commenting cap on this video, can you show us some back-end stuff from your stores?
Yeah,
to prove some of these numbers that we're talking about?
So this store here, we're almost at $4 million. Around 10% of it came from paid ads. The rest of it actually is organic, so if you can calculate the profit margins, it's a lot higher. So this is one of the stores. Also, just over $1 million in sales, mostly from organic as well. You can see we have a 40% returning customer rate, which is really, really solid. That means we barely spend any money on customer acquisition. It's just from repeat customers. This new one right here, we just launched, and it's already at 175,000, doing about like $50,000 a month, but in the upcoming months, we're about to do between $100,000 to $150,000 a month.
So we've all seen people flex money on social media, but I wanted to know, what does it actually take to succeed with an e-commerce business today?
Like, what separates people who are the winners from the losers? Like, how many hours do you have to work a day? How much money do you have to invest? What does it take to actually succeed?
I think a big part of it isn't even what it takes or how much work it takes. It's about looking in the right places. A lot of beginners, they're really misguided because on YouTube, there's just a wealth of gurus telling you, sell this viral TikTok product and you're gonna make money. And some people make money selling these viral TikTok products, but the likelihood of you hitting a hot product like that is very hard. And especially now with the advent of Temu and all these Chinese companies coming in, it's becoming very hard to succeed with a generic product like that. So I think what it really takes is to find a way to sell a differentiated product and sell something that has an immediate wow factor that a lot of people haven't seen before. And you can't do that with just normal AliExpress products for the most part. You need to make customized products and sell it in a branded way. Okay, we gotta try that again.
Dude, that's going in. That's going in.
Oh. You can't fall into the trap that a lot of these internet gurus show you, right? The lifestyle of having Lambos, like flexing, spending $1,000 at restaurants. It's not sustainable because, you know, with all businesses, there's always ups and downs, and you have to be really frugal with your money. The reason a lot of these guys are, you know, showing off all these expensive things is because they have something else to sell you, right? So first, keep your expenses low. Then second, have a product that offers really high quality experience to the customers. You want to make sure that you sell something that doesn't feel gimmicky, and it's going to make customers come back. Because I think dropshipping is a really good model to validate a product, but to have a real business, you really need a way to keep customers coming back for the long run. So bad. Wait, try again.
Maybe we should stop playing pool. Stick to making money, bro. What's been one of the biggest challenges in running your businesses? Is there anything that stands out, like that was a really hard time to get through?
One of the biggest challenges with e-commerce, I would say, is logistics. With every one of our businesses, we've faced different challenges in regards to logistics. So for the day business, we have certain seasons where the quality of our fruit isn't as good, or we can't produce as much. So then we have to scale up or down depending. And then for the jewelry and fashion business, we deal with thousands of SKUs. So, you know, you can imagine trying to figure out the fulfillment and storing of all the inventory. And properly forecasting the demand for the inventory can be really difficult. And, you know, also with our last product, it's a completely customized product. So, you know, having the proper design and sending it to the design team to have it personalized for the customer, it can be very challenging, and we have to have really good systems for, you know, all of the businesses to make sure that it runs smoothly.
Okay, so what does a typical day look like for you? You open up your laptop, what are you actually spending your time doing?
So I open up my laptop, a lot of times is just checking, you know, our Slack channels where we can communicate about advertising or video creatives that need to be made, all the conversations we have internally for our email marketing, and we plan out marketing calendars on a daily basis.
So what does it take to scale these businesses? How do you take it from, okay, you are testing a product, you see that it's working, you're making some sales. How do you take it from 5 figures to 6 figures to 7 figures?
Yeah, a big thing that people fail to do, and this is one of the biggest limitations when it comes to scaling, is they can't figure out the systems for their logistics and the systems for their marketing. Because to get sales, you need to get the word out there for your product. So, you know, for example, for this store, we built systems around influencer marketing and getting a ton of micro creators to basically do collaborations with us. We send out tons of free product to them. And because of that, they're able to make a lot of content for us, and some of that content blows up, and that allows us to scale a lot higher. On the other hand, when it comes to logistics, we need to make sure that everything is extremely solid, and if we can't fulfill the demand, then we actually do a drop-based model where we will fulfill maybe once or twice a month and be able to properly fulfill all those orders, close down the shop for the rest of the month, and then repeat that. If you want to have really solid systems, I highly recommend using different platforms like Notion and Slack, and hiring out teams using a website called onlinejobs.ph and Upwork. You can find a lot of really talented people and employ them to work for your business, and they come on as contractors, so you don't have to pay for health insurance and all these other benefits that typically full-time employees need.
When you get to this scale, like you see right there, you have 50,000 orders. What is that, in the past year or?
Past few years.
Past few years.
Yeah.
So when you get to this level of scaling, what types of issues are you facing, especially when you have 3 brands that are doing this much volume?
Yeah. So Q4 is typically one of the hardest times for us because
As much as we've tried to prepare for the volume of orders that come in, there's always issues. One time we had snow blocking in our warehouse, so we couldn't get the orders out properly. Had to fly over and pack orders myself with the team. But typically, to handle this amount of orders, we have to have a lot of staff. So especially for customer service, we have multiple customer service agents, and they're all implemented onto a platform called Gorgeous. And Gorgeous is basically a customer relations management software platform that integrates directly with Shopify. And this really allows you to streamline your customer service and make sure that every customer is happy and satisfied with your service.
Most people, when they're getting into this e-commerce dropshipping space, they're looking at what everybody else is selling, and they're kind of copying it. And like next thing you know, the entire business model is just filled with people doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So how can someone who is just getting into this and they're looking to find an original product that isn't completely oversaturated, what can they do to find those types of products?
Well, as you said, it needs to be unique. And one thing I always advocate for is the riches are in the niches, right? So you want to find niches that are really passionate, and there's so many out there. You just have to keep your eye open and look around you and look at your friends. What are their interests? What are their hobbies? What do they spend a disproportionate amount of time doing with their lives? And where do they spend all their money? And just by doing that, you're going to see a bunch of random niches. And it's always the ones that are really unsexy and nobody really thinks about that actually have a lot of product potential. I would say you have an unfair advantage if you sell stuff in a niche that you're personally passionate in. But it doesn't mean you are restricted to just that niche. Like, I didn't know anything about dates before I started selling them, right? Yeah. It's more about just identifying opportunities within these different niches, right? So what that takes is really understanding your customer and trying to fully get to know them to a level where you know exactly what their problems are and how you can solve those problems with the product.
How do you see the future of e-commerce evolving?
Yeah, so I think in the future, it's going to be really, really difficult, especially with dropshipping, for traditional dropshippers to succeed, because with Temu and all these other Chinese incumbents coming in, it's going to be really hard to compete with them. They're already spending billions of dollars on advertising, which means ad costs are going up and your profits are going to go down. So the only way to win is two ways. One way is high lifetime customer value, which means you have to have your customers come back over and over. And to do that, you have to have a good product. It's maybe something that incentivizes recurring subscriptions. Or the other way is to have a very high product price or order value. So you want to aim to sell products that can give you an average order value of over, I would say, $80. That way you can justify rising ad costs on Facebook, TikTok, etc.
How much money does somebody need to get started with branded dropshipping?
Yeah, luckily, because you don't have to put so much money up front for inventory, anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000 is a pretty good starting base.
And in terms of marketing, is it very product specific, whether you go to Facebook or TikTok or Google? Like, how do you decide where to invest the money when it comes to marketing?
It's very niche specific, actually. So a lot of times different platforms will serve a different kind of customer. So for example, if you have a older demographic that you're trying to target, then we would launch on Facebook ads. If you have a younger demographic, then TikTok works better.
For the dates company, who is the target customer?
It's pretty funny. Our target customer is actually 73 years old.
73?
Yeah, they're 73 and above and all female. If you look on our website, we just have thousands of 5-star reviews from all these grandmas. It's pretty funny.
Can you say maybe just a broad profit margins for all of your brands combined?
Yeah, so for all the brands combined, we aim for at least 30% net profit margin.
How do you feel about TikTok Shop and all these new opportunities popping up?
I think TikTok Shop is great. The only thing is, when you get on there, you don't own the customer. So TikTok will have all the customer information, and it makes it quite a bit harder to remarket to those customers. So to build a long-term sustainable brand might be hard, but in the short term, to acquire one-time customers and make a ton of money, I think it's a great opportunity.
What was your biggest day?
Biggest day, it was Black Friday. I think it was 2022 of Black Friday, and combined in a single day, I think we did around like 200 something thousand, 250,000. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. A good time. At that point, I had 6 stores running all at the same time.
6 stores.
Yeah.
If you were to start from scratch right now, what would you do?
Man, do I want to give the sauce? It's crazy.
Get the sauce, bro.
If I was to start again, I think the niche I would definitely get back into is jewelry. If not jewelry, I think another good one is automotive related stuff, but that's something I've recently discovered. It's been very, very hot on Facebook ads. Anything else, I think trending niches like Pilates, that's a good niche to probably look into if you understand that demographic. The more emotional that niche is, the more likely they are to buy and also come back and buy again.
Sauce.
Sauce.
You're 24.
Yes.
You've made millions of dollars. Most people your age dream of making that type of money. How does it feel that you're here now?
Well, it's funny because when I first started, I thought that it would be really crazy to make a lot of money, make multiple 6 figures every year doing e-com. In reality, I think I'm just living my normal life. I just have less worries. I don't have to stress about food. I don't have to stress about rent. I can kind of just live my life. I'm still frugal, right? I save money, and not too much has changed, except I'm just less stressed out.